Welcome back to Theme Journals. I'm April, and today I am going to finish up my embellishments on my envelopes, and it'll be the end of this series. And I'm going to get out the pre-made tabs that I have already made. Now, while I'm showing you my box, let me tell you, I am so sick of paying the pink tax. This box cost me $10.95 at Walmart. Now, let me show you some other of the boxes I've got at Walmart. Same size, they're sturdier. See, same size, same thickness, everything's the same, except this one only cost me $2.98 at Walmart. I go to the fishing department and get a tackle box. These are tackle boxes. And because for some reason manufacturers like to tax women more than men, this is cheaper. This was from the craft department, and it's a piece of junk that should have been for $1. You know, if you paid 75 cents for this piece of junk, then it would have been worth it. But at $10.95, it's not worth it. This was worth it because it was only $2.98. I can get 10 of these for the price of this one. Yeah, 5 or 6 of these for the price of this one. So that's my rant and rave for today. And if you're trying to find, you know, cheap storage boxes, yeah, Walmart's fishing department. So anyway, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are enjoying the how to make writing board envelopes. Okay, so these I already pre-made, and what they are their little pieces of cardboard that I punched out with a 1 inch and a 1/4 inch. This is an inch and this is a 1/4 inch, and then I punched a hole with my crocodile, and I put a, you know, eyelet through it. And then this is what we're going to be working on today. So you choose out 2 pieces that you like. So like that. If you don't like them, you can look through your little pieces. Now the idea to make these is I find a piece of white chipboard or box. I save all my boxes now. I think this box was a pill box of some sort. Pepsid AC, I think. And then on the inside, they have white. It has white. And so what I do is I go to the white side. Now, sometimes I use the white side. Sometimes I use the brown side because there is no white on a box, and that's okay too. But it cannot have any writing on it. That's the key. You can't have any writing on it. Now, you can have writing on the back, but not the front. And see, this is where I merge my junk journaling, the junk journaling world with the plain journaling world. Is I recycle a lot, and I love it. Okay, so let's say I didn't want that one, but let's say I want that one. All right. Now, since these are pre-prepared, you didn't see me make them. So what I did is I took a white piece of thing like this, and I put washi tape across it. Then I punched out circles with the washi tape already on it. I don't do, you don't do washi tape across the circles. You make this straight strip of washi tape, then cut out the washi tape on the cardboard with the circle punches. So that's how that works. And then this is what you get. Now, depending on how far down you want to go, I usually do about that size. Since this is a white background, I'll use my black Pitt pen and make a little thing like that. You got to be careful that you don't get it too much on your circle, but it doesn't matter on this because we're going to be using let's see, I need to find my little eyelets. Hang on. Yeah, I have it in the junky one that every time I see it, it ticks me off to no end. Anyway. There, we'll put some out like that. Now, I'll get my crocodile. All right. Now, I think we're ready to go. I'll also get out my glue. I make my own little stands. This is a half of a Pringle box I'll glue the lid on. Let me see if I can find a glued lid one. So I'll take the lid, glue it on with this glue, and then glue the lid, let it dry, and then I have two separate halves of the Pringle container. Of course, you have to, rinse out, take out all the, I dry wipe the oil out and all the little things that are left behind. Crackers or crumbs from the chips. So save your Pringle boxes, and they make great glue holders. They make great holders for your pens and your pencils and your rulers and all sorts of things. I have them all over the place for different, things, and works out just fine for me. So that's what I do. I refuse to reinvent the wheel at any point in time. If something already has, value, then yay me. And then I can keep my pin to unclog this. The nozzle right inside of the, right beside the container. So it's no biggie. There we go. Now that's done. Now I take the glue. This is Beacon 3-in-1. It's the generic of Fabrifix. So if you want a slightly cheaper Fabrifix, Beacon 3-in-1 is what I would recommend. It's the same thing. It's made out of what is it made out of? Acetone. So in your country, if you're not from the United States, you may need to buy an acetone glue that is sold in your country, because it has acetone is an explosive thing. It can explode and can catch on fire if it gets too hot. Most countries manufacture this sort of stuff in their own countries. So, whatever. I just know that you can't get this type of glue like down in Australia. You have to get an Australian acetone glue from a local shop. So anyway. And I'm sure you can read your country's regulations on acetone glue. And you can find out exactly why they don't allow imports of it. And if you live in a country where you can get Fabrifix or Beacon 3-in-1, well, go for it. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's good glue. So I'm having a difficulty time getting the glue out, but once it starts coming out, then you're home free. I think it's starting to come out now. All right, we're gonna call that done. Now you want to make sure you have it in the way you want it. Realign this center up with that at the position that you would like to have it, and then hold it down. Now, see what happens with this stuff? It explodes everywhere. So what you want to do is put your lid back on. Ugh. Or not. Looks like I've got glue on the rim of this thing. Oh, to the glue problems that we have. You know what? I wonder if this is inside out. Oh, hang on. Yeah. It is. All right. Ugh. This is where you lose a ton of glue. Or you can lose a ton of glue because, you know, you peel it off, and then I literally didn't put the nozzle back in, or I didn't flip it out right. There it is. Now it's a big old mess because I put the glue nozzle on the inside. And it's still exploding everywhere. All right. Ugh. Okay. Ugh. All right. Yeah. This is where the crocodile comes in. All right. Sorry, I have a clogged up throat. Been up since, I don't know what time, midnight, 2 o'clock today. Yeah. Did a video last night. Put it up for tomorrow. So this will actually come out on Tuesday, even though it's Sunday. When I'm videotaping, I want to get at least a week's worth of stuff done. So I'm aligning, and I know I've shown you this before, and I'll link the video below that I take a close-up picture of what I'm doing on the side down below, because I actually have a video showing you what I'm doing on the side. I'm not going to repeat myself. Okay, so you grab your centerpiece that you want and you put it in the position that you want. I want it like that. And then I go like so. And then you get the crocodile back up here, and then I move it back up to the top, and I will chomp it. You heard the crunch. It's this part exploding to keep it on whatever you want to keep it on. Okay, so after that, I will get out my little thread. I've got a beautiful orange thread. It's embroidery floss, actually. Oh boy. And here we go with the knots. It loves to get knotted up. You have to be careful with it, or else it really becomes a mess towards the end. All right, so probably want maybe 9 to 10 inches of this. So here to here is 9 inches. I'm just going to cut it to here. Okay. And if you don't like the length of that, you can lengthen it or shorten it on the next one you do. All right. So what I do is I slip it under here, pull it, and then sometimes you need a little tool to pull it through, And if you only grab one at a time, you'll shred the, yeah, like I just did. All right, this isn't gonna work. All right. All right, let's try this again. All right, so I will use my tweezers to do that. Sometimes it's easier to start with the longer side on the right side and the shorter side on the left, so that you can sort of go like that and you're just dealing with one end instead of the entire length of the, all right, I put, all right, this is where I'm going to need my tweezers. Oh, come on. All right. Okay. Then when you're done with that, you sort of put your fine scissors underneath the tab here. Lift it up, April. All right, there. There we go. And then you slip it under here. I mean, slip it back around here, and then that's the end. Now let me see if I can find, nope. Maybe it's this one. All right, I'm looking for some sunflowers. Hang on. All right. Now what did I do with that? Maybe they're under here. Yep, here they are. That's why I have this one out over here. All right. Now I'm going to take out 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Then what you do is you sort of twist this end so you can thread it through here. And again, you're going to need you may need your tweezers for this. And again, you may not. All right. I always do the double knot because most of the times I'm going to get a granny knot rather than a square knot, and granny knots come out and you don't want that, so you trim that down as well. And you have a pretty little end piece, dangly end piece, and then you can just wrap this up, lift it up, and there you go. See how pretty that is? And you have a match between this orange and that. Now, if you don't like that color, you could do yellow or whatever, but I've chosen this color. And sorry, my sinuses are really bad this morning. So you choose out another set like that, and then you can find a like that. All right. All right. See if I can keep this from going upside down. Oh, there we go. Now it wants to go everywhere. See? Big difference between the struggle I had the first time and this one. All right. Put this back on. Make sure you choose the correct side up. All right. and have a napkin on hand. I always use the ones, the white part from the napkins I pull apart for my glue napkins, my, you know, wipe off my finger napkins, that type of thing. Yeah. Yeah, I put too much on. It's really seeping out. Ugh. Drive me crazy. All right. By the time you get this on, that'll be dry, because the thing with acetone glue is, the reason why you want to use acetone is because it does dry quickly. And again, you have to decide which one is up and which one's down. I think that's up. And I want to line that with this center circle so it doesn't look off. Put a small little dot there. And then we start the process with the crocodile all over again. All right. I must say, this is the, if you're starting out brand new, and I had to choose one thing to recommend that you absolutely must buy, that's a crocodile. I have very, very bad hands. I have carpal tunnel, and it's bad on both of them. And this gives me the power to punch through, you know, paper and whatnot that I normally wouldn't be able to punch through. I know other people use eyelet setters and things like that, but I just don't have the power in my hands to use those types of things. All right, there we have it. Now, I think about 10 inches. I think maybe 10.5 inches we're going to go for this time. So that's 9 to here. Let's see. We're going to pull it down one more and that much more. Okay. Now we're going to try this. All right. And then you lift this up a little bit to get your thread under, and you give it a little tug so it's snug against that eyelet. Okay. All right. All right. Then you snip it. Okay, you can hide that little tail underneath there. All right. Okay. There. This is a little longer, maybe 10 inches rather than 10.5 inches. Yeah, we'll try that next time. And by the time you watch me fiddling and fumbling with this, you'll know the size, the length of the. All right. Length of the thread, or the floss. I mean, this is not really thread; it's floss. All right, there we go. Now we're gonna snip this a little bit. All right. You can also put it back up there and you could have it like that. So yeah, and then you can just tuck it in behind here. Something like that. Yeah, each one has its own characteristics. Each one is slightly different. It's the joy of making handmade things. It's not a manufactured process, and no matter how precise you are with your measuring tools, with your gluing abilities, it's still going to be handmade regardless of what level of perfectionism that you display in your work. It's still going to be handmade. It's all each journal, even though it looks similar, will be unique. So yeah. There. Yep, I got it too much again. Not as much as last time, but still too much. All right. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to choose a one for down here. And all right, there we go. Get it in the position that I want it. All right. That is so pretty. All right, get my big fat head out of the way. All right, I'm just going to do 10 inches this time. I think 10 inches will be what we need to do. There we go. What happened here? All right. It's not quite as dry as I'd like it. But anyway, I'm just going to go keep on keeping on. Ah, yeah. I may have had 11 last time instead of 10.5. Because this seems a little short. Okay, here we go. All right. Okie dokie. Now, it just occurred to me after I've done 2 of these that I may need to zoom in a little bit. There. Sorry about that, keeping you so far away. I just recently learned how to zoom, so yeah, I'm in between the generation of the boomers and the generation that came after me. I learned Cobalt and HTTP, and then it was Windows, and DOS. I learned DOS as well on my first computer. I had WordStar, and so I'm in the in-between generation who is not as techy as my daughter's generation or even the generation that came up behind me. And because computers were just becoming a thing as I graduated high school. And in college, I learned on, like I said, WordStar, and in college they had DOS Windows, and I cried and cried and cried, and I did all of my papers in the typing department on a typewriter because I couldn't figure out how to use Microsoft DOS. It was awful. And the people who were supposed to help me, they just refused to help me. And they were this, 4 years younger than me, and they were snots. Anyway, I ended up my first go at college doing all my papers, not on the computer, but on a typewriter because I could not figure out how to use Microsoft DOS. Anyway, then WordStar came out with their Windows, and oh, it just made so much more sense to me than Microsoft DOS. And for years, the companies I worked for had Microsoft Windows, and I was just so happy. And Microsoft came out with their Windows and sort of took over. They pushed WordStar out of the game, which was sad. And here we are. Me with an iPhone and not really knowing how to use the different things. If I know how to do something, I find out by accident, like how to zoom. And I forget that I now know how to do that. So my bad on having it so far away during the first half of this video. Oof. This is supposed to be able to do it with one finger. Yeah, my thumb hurts. Okay. All right. This is supposed to be easy. Yeah, sometimes it gets stuck here, and I'm sitting here moaning and groaning about it until I can flip it up. I don't know why. Sometimes it works really super easy, and sometimes it's like, haha, we're not gonna work. Make me. So, yeah. Me and my tools talk together. We sometimes come to an accord, and sometimes we don't. We'll see how that worked out. How that worked out all right. Okay, that's 9, 10. I'm going to try 10.5 again, and this time I'm not going to extend it on this side because I think that's how I got extra last time. So that's closer to 10.5 than the first thing I said was 10.5. All right. Now I don't go out and purposely buy embroidery thread. I just buy grab bags at my local thrift shop, and that's how I got my colors. I made sure I got at least 2 bags, primary and secondary colors, and browns. Yeah, I got browns. They're primary colors, different shades of browns. And that's how I got my embroidery floss. I got like, I would say 24 for like $8. Of course, there's other stuff in the grab bags too, so it sounds expensive, but with the other stuff that was in it, it was really worth it. Don't ask me what came with it. I don't remember, but yeah. Now, embroidery floss is twisted in a certain way. If you twist it opposite, it'll twist the 6 strands. There's 6 strands of thread in each single thing of embroidery floss. So you can, if you actually were doing embroidery, you could, split the thread and use 1 or 2. Most people who do embroidery use 2. Sometimes you have to use 3, but yeah, that's why the embroidery floss comes apart, is because of how it's used in the art of embroidery. Yeah. There. All right. All right. That's what I get for using a granny knot. Granny knots are awful knots. They don't stay very well. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to use a surgeon's knot. I should have been using a surgeon's knot all along. And how you do it is you go for the first loop is a granny, is a granny's knot, and then you loop it again. And these don't come out. These are permanent. Ugh. If you can get your floss to work right, these are permanent. Ugh. There we go. And you just pull. And that's not going anywhere, because you don't, as a patient, you don't want the knots the doctor puts in to sew you up to come out. And that's where you get the name surgeon's knot from. Yeah, I'm a nerd. What can I say? I have a little bit of this and that in my head, and I just need to string it all together to make some money off of it. Oh, I crack myself up. All right. And I just proved myself a liar. Okay. Yeah. All right. For some reason, this particular thing wants to be a pain in my neck. Boy, I'm glad I did a longer thread because I'm not going to get very much out of it in the end. All right. Let's try a square knot this time. Right over left. Come on. All right. Left over right. Supposedly. I'm just going to do 3 knots this time. Forget about whether it's a real square knot or not. And that way it can stop coming up. There. Ugh. Ugh, ugh, ugh. There. All right, let's see how much we have to twirl around our little closure. Well, that's not too bad. Can put it under here. All right. Try this again. Now, let's see. I think I'll use this one. Yeah. All right, let's see if I can not put so much glue on it this time. All right, let's go with that. All right. And yeah, I know I've got glue everywhere on all my fingers, and oh, what a mess. All right, let's see if I can, yeah, no. All right, there. I used the 1/8 setting. If I used both settings, I'd confuse myself with what type of eyelets I'd need. And so I just chose to use 1/8, and there you have it. All right. Okay, that's pretty. Ah, see? Sometimes it goes real fast, sometimes you have to wrestle with it. That's the only bad thing that I see with the crocodile, at least for me. You're supposed to push this down as you push it down, press it down, and then push as you push it up. And I think that concept eludes me somehow. All right, now we're almost done with this skein. Ugh. Oh, isn't this not fun? All right. Now I'm gonna do a little longer one this time. case I have a problem with the closure like I did last time. And you just want to slip under here and just sort of pull it up just a little bit so you can slip your thread or your floss underneath. It is not thread, it is floss. All right. And then you pull up. I guess I'm going to have to get some sinus meds to clear my sinuses if I'm going to do this on a regular basis. I cannot be sniffling while doing this because that's just yuck. So my apologies. All right. Yes, until this dries, you can move it just a little bit. You don't want to move it. You don't want the stuff to be off. I just give that a little tuck under there and I'm done with that. I have a sneaky suspicion that this is going to come flying off. Well, we'll see how well this holds it, because you can see it's inches above where it should be. Inches, I'm telling you. Yeah, okay. That means I didn't bite it as good with the crocodiles I should have. Or press down on it, I should say. All right. We're just going to do 3 knots. Because I know these are all 3 green knots. All right. All right. And there you have it. How pretty is that? Okay. Our last one. This was the problematic one. But, you know, you make it unproblematic. All right. All right. Yeah, once you unplug it from being a disaster at the beginning, if you haven't used your glue in a while, then it's fine. It comes out, it gushes out actually. Now I'm going to put that right there. There. That time it didn't ooze because I actually had gob under, didn't gob it. Don't gob the glue. Okay. And then we're going to put this one down here. Again, you want to sort of line that circle up with the circle down here so they're, I just eyeball it. All right, now we go back to, oh yeah, this one was the sewn one, so yeah, you have to take out the cardboard this time. All right, because this I had to put this into a pocket, and we're going to have to use my awl. And this is, again, why I have tape around this awl, so it stops where I want it to stop. All right, there you have it. So if you can do it by hand, you don't need a crocodile. It's just convenient for me because I have such bad hands. Now I'll be able to chomp this with the front of the crocodile, but hang on. All right, let's see if that will get this thing through. Nope. I'm gonna have to take this one off a little bit. All right, let's see if that'll. There, that should do it. All right, now, where's my, oh, here it is. So this is the drawbacks of doing this particular style of envelope. But you work with what you have. Let's see. This needs a little snip. Excuse my head. I can't see far away, so you're not going to be able, I'm just going to snip it around in a circle to get this. Aha, there it goes. Yeah, snipping it to get that thing in the hole was what I needed to do. All right. All right, let's try this again. Oh, good. The pressy tool is still chosen because this is going to be a colossal pain in the neck. I'll be lucky if I can do this properly. All right, let's see how that did. All right, so I got it, finally. If there's a will, there's a way, as my grandmother always used to say. My Granny Boots was full of sayings, and most of the time you shouldn't listen to them because, anyway, I won't tell that story. Most embarrassing moment in my entire life. I'll pass on telling that story. No. But yeah, I blame my grandmother for my most embarrassing moment in my entire life. And needless to say, I stopped saying most of her sayings. Unless I absolutely know what they mean. All right. That looks good. All right. Snip, snip. I think I should do it one more time. Yes. So I do not want this coming out later. All right. Yep. And voila. Now, let's take a peek at what we did. Show you the different types of clasps and the different types of different ways to do it. And that's it for the